Hey guys, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing and I'm going to give my first impressions on the Samsung Galaxy A04s. This phone is on sale at the time of this video. I'll have some links down in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. The price is just $147, which is what I personally paid for my phone here. Has 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. So this is the follow-up device to the Galaxy A03s, which came out towards the end of 2021. And this has been a good phone for the price. But now for the same price, you're getting the Galaxy A04s with additional RAM and storage, an improved screen, a new processor, an improved camera system. And there's some other goodies we'll talk about throughout the course of the video. But let's just go ahead and check out the Galaxy A04s. This phone comes in 4 different color options. We have black, this copper color here, green, and white. All right, we're really excited to check this one out. Top, we have our phone. See what else we have in the box. Inside the box, we get a 15-watt charger. We also get a Type A to Type C charging cable. We have a SIM ejection tool on the bottom here. That's it for the box. Glad we have a charger at least. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and check out the star of the show here, the Galaxy A04s. So we have the Infinity V display. We're going to have a bit of a teardrop design in the cutout. We'll see how that looks once we boot it up here. Have a triple camera setup here with the new design for 2022 Samsung phones. And if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I love that there is a fingerprint sensor built into the power button of this phone. Let's just go ahead and check out this Galaxy A04s in the copper color here. Really excited to check this one out with you guys. All right, so to my surprise, there's a glossy finish on this phone. The A03s from last year has a matte finish, and I'm absolutely loving these new camera layouts we're getting on these newer Samsung phones. You just have the cameras right in there, not really coming out of the phone all that much. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a physical tour of this phone. On the right side, we have our volume rockers and that power button, again with the fingerprint sensor built in. On the left side, we have what appears to be our SIM tray, which is a dual SIM setup and also has room for a micro SD card up to 1 terabyte. On the bottom, we have our headphone jack, have a mic, have our Type-C port capable of that 15-watt charging. And we have what I presume is our single bottom firing speaker here. On the top, we have another mic, and on the back, we have some Samsung branding. And this is a plastic phone, so we have plastic on the back and sidings here. But let's go ahead and boot up the Galaxy A04s. But now taking our first look at the 6.5-inch display here, you see we have that teardrop cutout on top, not all that intrusive with the display. Have a little bit of chin on the bottom, but overall we have an 81% screen to body ratio on this phone. It has 400 nits of peak brightness, and a big change compared to the A03s is we now have a 90 Hz refresh rate display on this phone, so super excited to take advantage of that higher refresh rate. This is a PLS LCD display, and it is 720p resolution. But with all that said, I'm gonna go ahead, put all my information in the phone, play around with it for a while, and come back with you guys on my first impressions on the Galaxy A04s. All right, so it's been a few days since my last recording, but I've been using the Galaxy A04s as my primary phone throughout this week, and overall I've been really enjoying this phone so far. So starting with the biometrics, getting into the phone, the fingerprint sensor built into the power button works great. It is yet to fail on me. You just lay your thumb on the sensor and you're right into the phone. You can also use facial recognition, which also works quite well. As you can see, it gets you into your phone quickly and accurately enough. Now, as far as average everyday usage goes, this phone works well enough. And when you consider the $147 price tag, there's not a whole lot you can fault it for. And overall, the amount of things you can do with it may surprise you. Getting around your home screen and various menus works fine and is relatively smooth. You will have the occasional hiccup here and there when scrolling through media and web pages, but there's also times you will be able to appreciate the screen's 90 Hz refresh rate with smooth scrolling and swiping. All of your basic tasks such as web browsing, gaming, watching videos, texting and calling, I'm really having little to no problems, with harder to handle web pages like Samsung.com loading up in very little time. Watching a few hours of YouTube was pretty enjoyable with this larger 6.5-inch screen. We do have a 7 720p display resolution here, but the 1080p 60 option is still available on YouTube, and this phone also has Samsung's Smart View, so you can project whatever's on your screen to your Samsung TV or monitor. This phone also features Quick Share for quickly sending things to other Samsung devices AirDrop style, so needless to say, the A04s is packing a lot of good features, especially for the price. Gaming has also been enjoyable for the most part on the A04s in my initial testing, with OldSchool Runescape running well enough to comfortably play for longer sessions. Stardew Valley has been running well with very few dropped frames overall, and again has been playable for longer sessions. And testing out some lighter emulation like Age of Empires from the Nintendo DS ran great and didn't take a massive hit on the battery even after playing for a few hours. The phone is very comfortable to hold and use regardless of orientation, so portrait orientation games such as Downwell were also enjoyable to play on this phone. And to my surprise, cloud gaming has also been performing well on the A04s. I think this is a perfect example to show how widely accessible cloud gaming is, as long as you, of course, have a good internet connection. Doing some light productivity tasks was no challenge for this A04s either, as I've been able to jump into and update some of my Excel sheets, as well as make some changes to my Word documents on the fly. And overall, this phone has handled every basic task I could think of throwing at it. Quite frankly, it is able to do what I normally do on really any Samsung phone, just at the expense of some stutters here and there, and sometimes simply waiting an extra second or two when switching between applications and tasks. Switching our attention to the triple lens camera array on the back, the new 50 megapixel primary lens has produced some pretty good results in my first few days of use, with the 2 megapixel depth sensor helping it out as it sees fit. And there's also a 2 megapixel macro lens here, but the star of the show is definitely that 50 megapixel primary lens. And around front, the 5 megapixel selfie camera gets the job done in a pinch. Video recording can be done at 1080p 30, but it's serviceable at best really, and it's an area I'd like to see improved on future Samsung budget phones. Battery life, on the other hand, has been quite good in my first week of usage. Yesterday, I used the phone very heavily at maximum brightness in preparation for this video, and in a 24-hour period, I was able to get 6 hours of screen on time, which is a very promising result for an extreme use case. Average users can easily expect at least 2 days of battery life out of this phone. But overall, initially, first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy A04s, I'm very impressed with everything this phone can do for the $147 that I paid for it, and features and functionality aside, it's also a pretty nice looking and feeling phone, which can be something easily forgotten at this price range. But in my opinion, Samsung does a pretty good job with consistently designing all their phones regardless of the price range you're looking at. But at this point, I really don't think a deeper dive of this phone will be necessary. Of course, let me know any comments you may have in the comment section below. But after a week or so of use, I can confidently recommend this phone to anyone out there looking for a solid budget smartphone from Samsung. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.